Welcome to the Bookers Alliance podcast, where we hold the pencil and the pencil is power. Coming at you right now is your host, Marky Mark, along with the man, the myth, the legend, Frank Donaldson. Join us as we discuss the ever-changing landscape of professional wrestling. So hang on tight, you jabronis, and enjoy the ride. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for joining today's episode of the Bookers Alliance podcast. Your boys are coming at you from L.A., sweet L.A. today.
All right.
And man, it's smoky.
Clipper Center.
It's smoky.
Yeah, you were hanging out with Travis Scott and Snoop last night, so I know what's wrong with you today. So yeah, I'll pick.
Them fires, man. It's them fires.
I know the fires. All right, you fired one up. You fired a couple of them up. I saw Travis take it from you on the way out from the curtain. You ain't slick.
So come on inside the house, bring yourself up your ringside seat, get your popcorn, your sodas, your whiskey, everything.
And apparently your blunt.
Everything you need for today's episode, titled, did we just see that?
We saw a lot.
Did we just see that?
We saw a whole lot of something.
Whew, a lot of something.
Whole lot of something going on.
Before we get to the whole lot of something, got a shout out of today's sponsor.
International sponsor today.
Hennessy Pure White.
Pure White. Can't get this stateside, so I know you see bottles that say something along that line in the stores these days. It ain't that pure though. You gotta look for the pure. That means you're getting it from over the border.
And we gotta make a toast.
Okay.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4 brand new champions.
Oh yeah, we were busy.
4.
Yeah, what a weekend.
4 brand new champions.
Loaded up.
Good gracious. So congratulations to Miss Tiffany Stratton.
Oh yeah, Tiffy time.
Miss Julia,
not Hart.
Mr. Obafemi.
And
Miss Rhea Ripley.
Mommy's back on top.
Toast to you, sir.
Cheers.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Chill, just right.
That's very grape forward. I like that.
I take mine on the rocks. You like yours neat. But
yes, sir.
Either way it goes down the pipe.
All right. Lots to talk about. We got to get cracking at it. Here we go. We got to talk about SmackDown for real. This was the first 3-hour SmackDown.
3-hour SmackDown.
We look, your boys in here are old, okay?
3 hours. At least it was Friday.
It was Friday. Whew. But I will say this. The lights bouncing off this brand new flashy blue mat.
Oh yeah,
that kind of kept me entertained.
That was interesting. I mean, unless you had a seizure from it, so, that was always a thing.
Yeah,
but apparently this is a short time thing. Apparently, SmackDown is going back to 2 hours. So Good news there for the old guys.
Yep,
chalk another one up for the old team.
But with the blue mat, it was jarring at first, but at the end of the day, the mat fades into the background, so it was all good, but it was definitely a difference. But let's talk about not just one swerve, but a double swerve.
They double swerved you.
They double swerved us with Tiffany Stratton, and all I'm going to say is thank you, Triple H. That was fun.
That was fun. Double swerve is always good. I mean, a double turn in wrestling, it goes down in the history books. You never forget it. I don't know if we've ever seen a double swerve like that before.
Not with a cash-in. That was a first.
Exactly. You think it would have been easier, though, for her to do that to Naomi and still, stay friends. But I guess this way it gives for a story to go into the Royal Rumble with. There wouldn't have been much story doing it the other way. This way gets you a damn good story to go into Rumble.
Yeah, and I was pleasantly surprised how they kind of pulled it off. First off, let me say kudos to Nia, and
we got to give a big up to
Naomi.
Nia. Yeah, I think Nia had her best match.
That was an incredible match,
at least since the return.
Yeah, and so when Tiffy came down, everybody was thinking it. Everybody was like, "Oh, she's cashing in."
Yeah, she teased it perfectly. I mean, she was like she was torn. Like, do I want it? Don't I want it?
And then she just whacks, upside the head, and I'm like, damn, we're not getting it. Is she trying to get back in the good graces of Nia? What was that?
She sold it. She sold it really well.
Hook, line, and sinker. The next thing you know, she took out Candace And then Bianca gets in the ring. First off, Bianca, KOD, and Nia Jax.
Yeah, that was a feat of strength right there.
Holy crap.
That girl's a beast. When she wants to get it, she can get it. I mean, we've seen her do it to Piper Niven.
Yep.
We've seen her do it to some, big time wrestling women, but whoo, getting Nia up there, I mean, that's saying something.
She laid her out in a perfect spot for Tiffy to actually cash in the Money in the Bank.
Oh, yeah. Tiffy took that braid and dumped Bianca as fast as she could. She cashed on in and off to the sunset.
She goes up, hits the prettiest moonsault ever, and then 1, 2, 3, Tiffy time is now in effect.
Did you hear the pop?
Oh, dude.
Man, it damn near reminded me of the Dolph Ziggler pop back when he cashed in.
No, I couldn't hear the pop because I was screaming so loud in my own damn living room.
You were popping?
I was popped.
There you go, yeah.
So, no, I couldn't hear the pop. I was popped.
Man.
But it was a great moment. I enjoyed that tremendously. We all kept wondering, okay, she's teased this so many damn times. When's it finally going to happen? And, they said that little backstage, like, Tiffy's not here. And I'm like, huh?
Yeah, they leaned into it a little bit, but then they swerved costing Naomi the title match, giving Nia the win, completely sold it. I'm like, well, hell, they jobbed us, they're not doing it. Then to go on and still do it, double swerve, loved it.
Fantastic. So great outcome, Tiffy. The sky's the limit. See what happens. Hope you have a long run as champion.
Yeah, she's got star written all over, and I think they're ready to cash in now and put the Rocket where we're not going to talk about it right now. So. Exactly. We're going to let it go.
All right. We got to talk about AEW for a minute.
What?
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
No. On the biggest WWE weekend ever, you found a way to squeeze in some AEW?
Yeah. Remember, what did we just see? Yeah.
SmackDown.
No.
That was great.
No. No. Gotta throw it. Look, we gotta be well rounded, sir.
They're not. I mean,
touche.
Right. Why do we have to do the work that they're not doing?
Because we got to be better than them.
Well, that is true. That's where the bar set low. But okay. So let's go.
All right. So Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty happened this weekend in the Tokyo Dome.
Did they?
They did.
That's 2 events.
I will tell you, there were some matches that came out of it. Tanahashi's matches was fantastic. They were great. But the one match that came out of it, if anything that you watch away from that weekend,
Mercedes Moné, go ahead and say it.
I'm so sick of that. I'm so sick of that.
I mean, apparently she's Sasha three-way now.
No, she got 4 belts, actually.
4?
4 belts.
Holy hell, I only saw her with
and
3.
neither one of those 4 belts mean a damn thing.
Do any of them at this point? I mean,
no.
So over in, you said this was in the Tokyo Dome, right?
It was.
Over in the Tokyo Dome, how many of them are watching TBS?
None of
So
them.
was there a reason to take that belt over there?
Nope.
Okay. All
right, but this is the match I want to talk about. There was no belt involved in this match, but it did involve the best bout machine, the belt collector himself, Kenny Omega.
With no belt?
With no belt. This was Kenny Omega's return match, and it was versus Gabe Kidd. Gabe Kidd right now is the quote-unquote leader of the War Dogs as far as Bullet Club. Kenny was kind of back in his old stomping grounds as far as the Tokyo Dome. But for his return match, after being away for a year with diverticulitis, good seeing you, Kenny Omega. Way better of a performance he had where the first time he tried to come back in AEW, and it didn't pan out for him because he was still hurting. But it was a 30-plus minute match with Gabe Kidd, very violent match. Both of them were left beaten and bloody at the end of the match, and the crowd actually started turning on Kenny Omega mid-match, which was great because that match really was to set up Gabe Kidd to be the next uber star for New Japan.
Gotcha. Did you go to that match? Were you at the Tokyo Dome?
I flew out there.
I figured as much because everything you just said sounded like Japanese to me. It was everything you said. I didn't understand a word of it. I caught like an Omega in there somewhere, but everything else was like blah 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 blah. Moving on.
All right.
Good God.
It's time for the main event.
No, I'm just kidding. We do want to give respect. So everything I've heard, the match was good. I don't want to pretend like I'm shitting on it or anything. I heard the match was great and all that. It's just with so much on our plates from SmackDown to Raw to NXT, I couldn't squeeze in not a minute of AEW. Not that there was a minute of AEW to actually squeeze in.
All right, let's talk about Raw. All right, we're gonna slow it down. We're gonna take our time here because there's a lot to unpack here in Raw.
So much.
So here's what I'm gonna do though. Obviously, you guys, you're catching this on a Friday morning or whenever you catch it, after Friday's drop. Obviously, you have heard every wrestling podcast by now or any dirt sheet. They've all shit on basically this episode of Monday Night Raw. Said it was a glorified house show. Said that a lot of the things that happened in this did not make sense.
Well, go ahead. I've got something to say in regards to that.
I say they are dead ass wrong.
I say they're hating. They're hating like hell.
Yep.
That was damn near a PLE.
Yep.
I mean, granted, it wasn't WrestleMania, but it was damn sure Bad Blood. It was damn sure your May pay-per-view. It was damn sure one of the off-brand pay-per-views that's not a big four. We got the culmination of some storylines. We got the advancement of some storylines. We got shock and awe. I mean, you got everything you could possibly wish for.
We got
in a PLE.
And we also got confusion.
Well, that's why I'm shock and awe.
We got some weird
stuff that's happening.
Some weird,
you're like, why?
Weird shit.
What?
Yeah.
Who? But I mean, but it's all storyline advancement. It's gonna get us there.
So
as a good man once said recently, just shut the hell up and go on this ride that he's about to take you on. So all them other podcasts out there, don't listen to them about this. If they're saying anything negative about it, they're nuts.
All right. So first things first, let's talk about it being on Netflix. Triple H called it an incredible stat that he called out, that there's an opportunity for the WWE to be watched in over 280 million households. Now, granted,
that's impressive.
Now, granted, he said obviously that's not going to happen. Time zones, shit like that.
Right.
You can't do that, but they've not yet released numbers.
They haven't, but what they did release is that it has knocked out Squid Games out of the number one spot, and it's been number one since Monday. So that goes to tell you a lot of damn people watch live, and a lot of damn people are still watching because Squid Games has a whole season out.
Yep.
Raw's got one episode.
Yep, and that speaks volumes. If people want to bitch, moan, and complain about the quality. Yeah, I've heard from some people that they've had some issues. We obviously being in LA, we don't know if we had issues or not back on our side.
Well, so I watched it back, and when I watched it back, I think I saw one small glitch in it.
Small little
glitch.
But,
I don't know how it broadcast live. I don't know how it came across, but I'm pretty sure it pulled about as accurate as it pulled originally, and I only had one little snafu in there, and I think that was right at the very beginning of it. And it seems like they got right on top of it right away and had nothing else throughout the whole broadcast.
So it being on Netflix, it's a different experience. It's weird not firing up USA seeing Monday Night Raw, but things change.
Yeah. And then, I mean, the little lead-in screen before the little lead-in screen that they had before it, like when it was showing I only got 30 seconds of it before it showed, but it had a little banner up there that you put up on your TV. I mean, if you're having a watch party or something like that, you put the banner up there, it gets you hyped about it, it gets you excited.
Yep.
What's going to happen here? What's going to happen there? I'm sure as the growth process matures, they'll find stuff to put in there, maybe backstage or pre-show stuff. They'll find stuff to fill in that dead air just to get you a little bit more excited. So
I think they should.
It's only up from here.
I think they should do a 30-minute pre-show.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yep.
I mean, you got your announcers already there. They got 2 announce teams for God's sake. You got the backstage guys. You got the Kathy Kellys, who we need more of her on TV.
She can do the whole 30 minutes for all I'm concerned.
Damn right. Enough said.
All right, let's talk about this opening video that showed. So this thing, I actually went back and watched this one back too on the WWE's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to get everything that was said.
Yeah.
And you would think that this piece was written by Walter Cronkite or somebody like that, because it was so eloquently put together, and it wasn't just for the already invested wrestling fan.
No, that could be a welcome.
This was a welcome to anybody who is new seeing this product for the first time, and listening to what was said. It went back to the origins of what we've all fallen in love with and kind of laid it out throughout the years, how it's happened, why it's important.
Yep.
And not only that, but how did it blow up to what it is today? Talking about how it came of age with the birth of American television. So, all of that was written, but then the whole time they're talking about this stuff, you're seeing these splashes of color thrown around and everything happening, only at the end for it to unveil one of the most gorgeous paintings.
Yeah, that was a mural
I've ever seen.
That was a beautiful mural in a ring. And I think you said it right at the at the moment, because obviously we're watching it on a Tron, so it was hard to take everything in. With 18,000 people yelling in your ear and oh my God, and I mean people were literally crying as they were listening to the like Jesus, we can't even hear it. What are you crying about? Go home and listen to it. But yeah, no, to see the finished product and just all the decades and decades of history that was included in the video as well as in the mural, it's like, my goodness, you just, again, I guess it really makes you realize how big this wrestling thing is.
Yep.
We know what it's been over the last, 20 years or whatever, and what it was in the Attitude Era. But, for those of us who weren't around in the 50s and 60s and 70s, we only hear about it, but to actually see that stuff put into video, it's like, oh my God, this thing is magnificent.
And I loved the verbiage that was used, and I loved how Triple H also explained it in the post conference, where he was like, "Oh my God, we're putting it out front that we're using terms like heel and face, and they work or shoot."
They talked real.
They talked real about it, and you know what? In this day and age of where we are, now granted, I know the old wrestlers out there, they're still tense. If you talk to Taker about stuff like that, Taker still wishes it was in the glory days.
And that's cool and all, but you also got to remember on the same network, on Netflix, you've got Heel showing now. Right. So, I mean, they're a fully behind the scenes, gimmick. They're also showing, what is it, the thing they had with Al Snow in them, that's on there. And then the whole Mr. McMahon documentary's on there.
And why was he called Face on 18?
Yeah, well, there you go.
He's a consummate good guy.
But at this point, if you don't know the inner workings of the business, then that stuff would fly over your head. It was lost on you. But the majority of the people that are watching have heard those terms used somewhere else. So they understand how it fits, and it makes them feel like, hey, we're almost behind the curtain. And everybody loves getting a little peek behind the curtain of your favorite show.
All right, so let's move on and talk about Hunter and The Rock. Hunter came out there and welcomed us all to the Netflix era, which you're welcome for that, Hunter. You stole our title from our previous podcast episode, so you're welcome.
Straight stole it. I mean, granted, we didn't trademark it, so I mean, it was his to steal, but damn.
Yeah. So Hunter comes out there, gives us the welcome that only Hunter can give. That dude, Pat McAfee told Hunter something before Netflix aired. It aired on Netflix the other night. He told him that he's got a locker room full of men and women back there that are willing to run through a wall for him.
Yeah.
And
Hunter, he earned that.
Hunter, he's earned that. He's paid his dues, but damn if he ain't right. I mean, he's just got this product pointed in the right direction. Yeah. And it was phenomenal, and he welcomed us in as only he could. And then we got the final boss, or did we?
We got The Rock.
Did we get the final boss?
We definitely got The Rock. It said it in the music.
Did we get corporate kiss ass? I mean, is that what we got?
Not kick ass or not kiss ass. I would say kick ass if he was doing anything. But I mean, he did the same. He went around. He glad handed. He welcomed everybody. He welcomed your Universal Heavyweight Champion to the show for a front row seat to watch him do his thing as only The Rock can do.
And then proceeded to seemingly bury every freaking thing that they set up after WrestleMania.
Moving on. Things change, pal.
They squashed it.
Things change, pal.
Like it didn't matter.
Things change, pal.
And everybody's mouth was like, what?
And they're friends now.
Dude, he's congratulating him for carrying the company on his back.
He paid The Rock $14 million in stock on New Year's Day. I'd thank the man, too. All that wrestling shit goes to the side when you get $14 million in the morning, for doing absolutely nothing.
We sitting there getting damn Instagram alerts on our phone about The Rocks went live, and while the wrestling's going on in the arena, we're sitting there looking at our Instagram, and damn, Rock and Cody back there having tequila together,
having a shot. I mean, what the hell?
What just happened?
I think it's not time for that. I think it's over. I think at this point now, Rock's like, hey, okay, we pivoted last year. We had to do what we had to do. Hell, all wheels forward now. We're gonna get this done now because who did The Rock interact with after after interacting with Cody and after doing his thing? When's the next time we saw him?
Well, we saw him present the Ulafala
to your tribal chief. Roman Reigns.
You gotta put your ones up. If you're driving one hand on the wheel and the other one on the air.
Put that damn one up. Because he is the reigning, defending, undisputed tribal chief, Roman Reigns. There you go.
But so yeah, that match was really cool. That match, them boys were going at it.
They didn't hold back.
Solo didn't hold back on them stairs, that's for sure.
Ooh.
To hear that thunk in the arena,
when he got and of course, those of you who didn't see I think they went to commercial because everything kind of died down in the arena. But they came and did some treating. They took it because otherwise Roman was gonna be a bloody mess, and I don't think Netflix was ready to get welcomed into that.
Well, they couldn't get no blood on them Kobe's.
Well, not that either. The custom Kobe's being out there, that was a good deal. But I don't know if they were ready to give a crimson mask on Netflix's debut episode of the very first match. That might have turned them the wrong way.
Them Kobe's gonna wind up in the Hall of Fame one.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so we saw Roman defeat Solo, take back the Ulafala. It was getting ready to be presented by Paul, and then all of a sudden The Rock steps in.
No music, no intro, no nothing. Intro. He just casually came out.
Hands him the Ulafala, and while Roman is celebrating, Rock is just standing there.
Yep. You know Rock's gonna turn on him, right?
We were sitting there in the crowd going, come on, Rock.
Here it comes.
It's going rock bottom.
All night. It was kick him in the nuts and rock bottom him.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. But maybe nothing was needed.
Exactly, because in reality, furthering the story had already been done for that night.
Yeah.
Roman got the Ulafala back.
Yeah, that was definitely the next. After Rock had already talked about his title of High Chief Sulalea, whatever he said.
Close.
Yeah, it was something like that.
We'll go with that.
He gave us something like that, but
we'll go with that.
That was my takeaway from it. Rock had and as he let it be known, he showed his video package from way back, and I remember that from like back in 2003 or what. I think he was doing the movie he did with Sean William Scott, Stifler. I think it was way back then when that happened. So that was like Rock's like third or fourth movie that he was over in Samoa, and he had actually been, crowned as High Chief over there. So, to be able to use that video footage from over 20 years ago, and, he let it be said, it's the highest rank in the land. And he just left it at that. No need to say anything more. So when a tribal chief is crowned, who crowns him? You have to be crowned by somebody higher than you. You don't get crowned by anybody lower.
The High Chief.
Absolutely.
So that was kind of perplexing, but at the moment we were like, okay,
you're just taking it at face value.
So here's what I'm thinking that let's real quick. While these people shit on this episode of Raw,
because they're haters.
I think they were looking for too much to happen.
Yeah, they wanted a 10-pound bag of they wanted 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag
to shoot their wad all in one night.
Exactly.
This ain't Tony Khan.
No, that's nowhere near.
This ain't how it happens.
Nowhere near the formula that's led to all the success that they've had now is give you everything at one night, especially not with The Rock, because we don't know how much Rock we're going to get.
Right.
You might not see Rock for another month. So you don't want it all right now, and then you're sitting there pissed off for the next month.
What's the song? I want it all.
Exactly. So, but if he comes out and does that, if he turns on Roman, if he rock bottoms him, then you don't see him for another month. Well, what kind of steam is that?
Right.
That we don't want the roller coaster to go up real fast and then go down as slow as molasses. Hell, you want it to go the other way. You want the slow burn until you get to the high up and then the quick drop off.
So we're going to move the conversation along. We've talked about one of our new champions that we toasted to. Now we're going to talk about the next one. We're going to talk about Rhea Ripley.
Oh, yeah.
Beating Liv Morgan for the women's championship. That match was as expected. Everybody kind of felt Rhea was going to go over.
Yeah.
Liv gave it a good shot. I think having the fact we all kind of knew what was going to happen. It was a little bittersweet seeing Liv kind of take the loss. We saw Dom.
It wasn't all bad watching her get pinned.
No,
man, that pinning position, boy.
We saw Dom.
I was thinking about going down for 3 myself, but
we saw Dom, get his, come up. He got kicked in the nuts. Everybody thought he was going to get a riptide, but he's already had a couple riptides. That wasn't fitting. I mean, the fitting thing was kicking him in the nuts. And then as Rhea was walking out to celebrate, out of nowhere, dong.
I mean, talk about a misfit.
Yeah, Taker's gong hits. American Badass starts to play. The motorcycle comes out. He makes a lap around the ring, gets up to back to the top of the ramp where Rhea was, congratulates Rhea. They both give the kind of fist in the air like the Brothers of Destruction.
Yep. Then the over the shoulder look together, where you know how him and Kane used to do.
Yep. So as far as Rhea getting the rub from an old veteran like Taker, that was really cool because
now if we find out later that the Undertaker got the rub from Rhea, then we'll know that there's
a different story.
Yeah, we'll know that there's trouble in the.
Buddy might leave AEW, come to WWE.
Could be that, or I mean, we saw Michelle McTaker in the crowd. She might have had something to say about that whole thing too. I remember when it was happening, you were like, "Is she going to ride on the back of the bike with Undertaker?" And I'm like, first of all, Rhea don't ride, bitch. Let's clarify that now. Second of all,
she needs a shirt that says
right. That. Second of all, both of them got their spouses somewhere in the area. Ain't no chance in hell she's getting on that bike with that man.
But very cool. But I mean, if anything, there's been several wrestlers throughout the years that have got that rub. Bray Wyatt was one of those wrestlers.
Yep.
But if that tells you how Rhea is viewed in the company's eyes, she is the person right now.
Oh yeah, as far as the women go, I mean, she's heads and shoulders above the rest. And not just because she's taller than the rest of them either.
All right, we got to talk about I am the real American. That was one of the funniest and saddest things I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah, it's all over. I mean, we've talked about this before. I'm only a wrestling fan now because of Hulk Hogan in the 80s. I'm almost not a wrestling fan because of Hulk Hogan in the 2020s. If there was anybody that could turn you away, it would have been him. But yeah,
he's had so many controversial statements and things happen that I don't think there's anything that can really bring his credibility back to the wrestling fans' eyes.
No, at this point now, it's a wrap. And I was hearing on Monday before any of that happened that they were looking into signing. I guess they did sign into his whole Real American Beer
they own
thing.
A piece of the company, apparently.
Yeah, so that ain't going nowhere.
Nope.
But I feel like they're, and let's be completely honest, right? We know WWE, they're tone deaf. They live in their little bubble. Yep. They think everything that is what they want is what everybody wants. They don't look at the outside world. And let's be honest, Hogan didn't do himself any favors during the last, let's say, 3 months, when we'll need to get into the whole genesis of everybody knows what we're talking about. But he didn't do himself any favors in that. And then trying to debut him in California, the place that would have hated everything that he stood for the last 4 or 5 months, that wasn't the way to bring him back. They should have held out for a Florida or Texas show.
But if I had to say this, if I know WWE like I know WWE, they're going to lean into it. And if they bring Hogan back out on TV, he will not be red and yellow.
No.
He'll be black and white.
Yeah, he'll definitely be.
He'll be NWO.
He was black and white. He had a black and white Real American Beer shirt on. Had he not tried to rip it off and have the Netflix shirt on, he could have just flipped and went total heel, come out with the feather boas and all that. Because let's be honest, he's probably going to be at Saturday Night's Main Event, right? I don't know where it is, but hopefully they think about the nature of the crowd before they bring him out.
Yeah. And
depending on where it is and the crowd they're going to be dealing with, that he's a character that at this point can go either way. Lean into what you know you're going to get. Don't try and don't try and overturn something that isn't going to be overturned.
Speaking of leaning in, let's keep the conversation moving. Hi, Steph.
Oh, yeah. Definitely leaning in. I was telling that camera, I'm like, lean in more. Man.
Hi, Steph.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back. Welcome home.
Welcome home.
Absolutely.
All right.
And not to North Carolina. I mean, that's just a vacation.
All right. Now we got to talk about Travis Scott. So how do you know that WWE is on Netflix? Two things. The FU solo chant did not get blocked out, and Travis Scott walking Jey Uso to the ring with a blunt.
Yeah. After you handed it to him, I'm like, my goodness. And I'm trying to figure out how the hell I got skipped in all that.
Look, when Snoop tells you to pass, you pass.
I'm in the back trying to get some Travis Scott signed. The next thing I know, I see y'all over there chilling. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. What's going on?
It does say Netflix and chill.
Yeah, exactly. They told me, they were like, hey, buddy, get back to your seat. And I'm like, my co-host, my partner, they're like, hey, he's over there with them. You get back to your seat. I'm trying to get my damn shoes signed. I disappear. I go sit down. Damn, I look up on the camera. I see you behind the curtain passing something to Travis Scott. And next thing I know, him and Jey Uso out there smoking on the damn TV. I said, what the hell?
Jay was mad. Jay said, look, Travis, next time at least let me inhale.
I mean, no. So next time you wear the merch and get on camera, damn it, hell, you're not going to hide behind the curtain without the merch on. Next time you get your ass on the camera with the merch.
I'll work on that.
And then I'll put a QR code up there for them to know where to go buy that stuff.
I'll work on that.
Merch coming soon.
So yeah, with Travis Scott walking Jey Uso down to the ring, Jay's song is already lit. I mean, just Travis kind of amplified it. It was really cool to see his entrance come down. The match.
What was not cool, hold on, let's not go too far. What was not cool was watching Michael Cole try to yeet on the stick. Michael Cole, you have no rhythm, sir. None.
He is the whitest of white boys.
Hell yeah, none. I mean, I don't mind using. He'd do better to sing the song. Trying to watch Michael Cole pump his arms up and down. Oh my! I thought, first of all, I didn't know if he was trying to fly away. I was like, what the hell is he trying to do here? Because in no way, shape, or form was he on beat, but he tried.
Pat told him he yeeted too hard.
Yeah, he did. He yeeted all over the place. He almost yeeted himself out of a job.
All right, we got to move on to the main event of that night.
The main event.
So we talked about Seth Rollins and CM Punk on what we would expect. We thought we might get the Smodge finish, but
we knew we were getting a Smodge, right? Had to be.
But Punk going over after you watch the story that they told in the ring, it made sense.
Yeah, it made sense at that.
It made sense. Live rounds were thrown in that match.
Oh,
Them boys definitely don't like each other.
No, they're not best of friends in the back. They may very well both be businessmen and doing what the job calls for them to do.
Yep.
But I guarantee you, we ain't gonna get no pictures of them hanging out in the ring or accidentally, off camera, conversate. We ain't get none of that because these two fellas do not care for one another.
Yeah, there was some live rounds. You could see their backs were pretty messed up from all the shots outside. Shots on the announce table. Seth left the match with a big old mouse under his eye from a GTS. Punk even said in the post press conference he may have to change his finisher because he got hit.
Yeah, he said he realized what it is,
and he said, "Ooh, that was tough."
Well, do you remember the first one, right? Remember we had a live round that Punk kind of threw, and it kind of looked like Rollins took a knee to the face a little too stiff.
Yep.
Well, then when time came to do the GTS on Rollins' side, I ain't never seen a damn GTS. No. He went nose head first.
That looked like
normally you drop the guy and his feet are going down, and then he can kind of put his feet down, then the knee comes up. Hell, he didn't even let go of his legs and he already had his knee coming up. I'm like, ooh, that's gonna hurt.
That looked like the punch that Brock Lesnar threw to Braun Strowman.
Yeah, it was kind of like, oh, okay, I see you. Here's one of these.
Here you go. But hard-hitting match. Punk going over clean. There was no smiles, no interference, nothing like that. But that's not the last time you're going to see them two boys tangle. That's the beginning of that story.
Oh yeah, that's the precipice of a long drawn out story.
So Mark Henry went on Busted and said, what does Seth Rollins do if he loses? He burns it down. He becomes the architect again and redesigns himself.
Well, I won't complain if he stops the cross-dressing thing.
Neither will Punk.
Right. Yeah, that's the first thing. Stop that. Go get yourself some regular gear. Just wear it out there and enjoy.
All right, we got to move on. We got NXT to talk about.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about NXT this week.
All right, first thing first. Julia, congratulations to you. You're the third champion that we got to talk about real quick, beating Roxanne Perez in a tremendous match where Roxanne, good God, that girl's ready for the main roster.
I was just getting ready to say, I think she had to lose it because I wouldn't be surprised to see, especially with all this time fluctuation and all that going on with these shows and apparently Raw can be any time now.
Yep.
So I heard a rumor today that it could run anywhere from 40 minutes to 4 hours.
Yep.
And when I heard 4 hours, I almost shit myself. I'm like, look, y'all run a 4-hour episode. Damn it, started at noon. Let me get a whole day of it in. Don't do that at 8 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock at night because I won't see it until 8 o'clock in the morning.
But as far as that match went, that match was hard hitting as well. Julia is known for that strong style anyway, coming over from Japan. Great match, fantastic work. Julia definitely deserves that title. She also
they bought her in for this. They bought her in to elevate that women's title on that roster to a new level.
And she won't be in NXT probably more than a year or two because they're going to need her on the main roster soon too because she's just phenomenal.
Well, when Asuka comes back, I mean, you got to get another one up there. You got Asuka and Io and Kyrie. I mean, Dakota Kai can't be Dakota Kai can't be the fourth one much longer. You got to get Julia up there.
Got to talk about the fourth champion that took the belt.
Oh, yeah.
Obafemi.
Talk about ready for the main roster.
So we
at least two guys in that match that I could see on the main roster tonight.
So there are two horses that we have backed for the longest time in this podcast. The first one was Bronson Reed.
Uh-huh.
The second one has been Obafemi.
Oh, yeah.
We have been
Good God.
We have been pulling for Obafemi and everything that this man does.
That dude is a house.
He's a house. He's got an incredible physique. He is starting to be better at working the mic.
Yeah.
Just phenomenal just moves.
He's got it all.
He does.
When I look at him, I see everything that Brock Lesnar brings. Yep. I see everything, those kind of guys. Yep. So we're not talking like a Ham and Egger. We're not talking about somebody to come in here and be like the additional New Day guy or something like that. Guy's going to come in there. He's going to find a way to dominate on the main roster at every level.
Him and Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
Please.
All day long.
All day. That's the type of matches that I want to see him in.
Yep.
But let him do his thing. And Trick, we'll see you on the main roster.
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised to see Trick at the Rumble.
Yeah, well,
at this stage, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think you'll see Trick in the Rumble, absolutely.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to see him at the Rumble. And whenever there's a draft for number one call up, I mean, Melo went number one or first round last year.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Trick go first round this year because, man, you want to talk about he's got the look, he's got the mic skills. He's got the athleticism.
Crowd's behind him.
I mean, the crowd's definitely behind him. They love his song. I mean, the only reason I don't want to see him go to the main roster is because Booker won't be there to help him along with the song. That's the only thing I'm going to miss is because we damn sure don't need Corey Graves or one of them guys trying to be Booker T in that because that's going to be like a Michael Cole dancing to the Yeet thing type situation.
And then we got to talk about somebody that we just kind of found out mid-episode of Monday night that he was going to be at NXT.
Yeah, why not, right?
The Rock.
He's in town anyway, so
why not? So
plus, I hear he knows some people on NXT.
He knows a good general manager over there.
Yeah, so or as he said, that's the final boss of NXT. Boss. So, but he's the final boss. So I'm like, where are you going with this?
So we got to talk about the skit that they kind of did backstage. Ethan Page, man, good on you.
Oh, hell.
Coming from AEW and then sharing air with The Rock.
Yeah, now you're bumping shoulders with The Rock in the backstage segment.
Come on now.
You want to talk about an upgrade?
Yep.
Hell. You think he even remember? I'm sure when he looks at his alphabet soup, he takes all the A's, E's, and W's out of that stuff. He's like, get these out of here. I'm in NXT.
Him and The Rock had a good conversation. The Rock kind of laid the line down, so to speak, as far as what he's expecting from Ethan Page. He needs to mind his manners around his daughter.
Absolutely.
And make sure that he minds her. If she says jump, he asks how high. So.
Yeah, well, he told him the two letters you better remember are P's and Q's when you're in this office. But I think what I like most about that though was another behind the scenes thing, because you see how The Rock really is in real life. He was nervous. He was nervous. He had never been in front of an NXT crowd. He
didn't know what to expect with it.
No, he was like, I don't know what I'm gonna get here. But the general manager was there to calm him down. Tell him, hey, listen here, kid. This is how you do an interview in front of a live crowd. This is how you do a promo. He gave him a little promo class because that's what they do in NXT. They prep the young guys for promos. So she prepped The Rock for a promo. God, I can't even get through this skit. All right, move on. I can't get through the bit. I can't finish it.
So The Rock comes out. The Rock comes out. He's not coming out as corporate kiss ass that he came out on Monday night. He came out as the final boss. So wait a minute. We saw two versions of The Rock 2 different nights. Where the hell is this going? What did we just see?
So if there's nobody more dialed in than The Rock, right? Like the same way we just said WWE's kind of in their bubble and they kind of don't look at the outside world. You know, they just live in what they live in. Mm-hmm. Nobody's more dialed in than The Rock. Rock knows everything that's going on social media. He knows everything he gets the buzz from, seems like the dirt sheets. I mean, you know, Rock, feel free to hit me up if you need some information before going into your next show. No problem. You got the number. But you know, he's in tune with what the fans are saying. He's in tune with what the people want, what they're saying. So he came out there and spoke directly to what happened last night, to whereas, you know, everybody else is doing the NXT thing, pretending like Raw on Netflix never happened. Rock's like, no, hell no, I was on Raw last night. Here's what happened. Here's what we said. Here's what you said. And here's what I say to you.
Yep.
We gave him a big FU and kept moving on.
Now, I will say this. Whatever version of The Rock that we're going to wind up with 2, 3, 4 months down the road, whatever happens, right? Mm-hmm. Am I going to sit back and go, damn, I wish they would have went this direction? I can't. I can't do that to myself as a wrestling fan because I understand what The Rock is trying to do. Mm-hmm. The Rock is trying to keep kayfabe alive in 2025. Yeah. He's trying to keep everybody guessing. He doesn't want anybody knowing what's really happening.
Yeah, well, but he's trying to do that being probably the most recognizable public figure in the world.
Correct.
I mean, where everybody, right, where his real job says, no, you need to be on social media. You need to promote your presence. Right. You need to be in front of the people. To whereas he's like, yeah, but I'm trying to play a gimmick here. Well, hell, he's towing a mighty fine line that I don't think anybody else in this day and age can do. Nobody else can handle this the way The Rock does because nobody's as versed in both. You know, Rock's been in Hollywood for 20 years now. He's got that game figured out, and he grew up in wrestling. I mean, the first 30 years of his life was circulated in wrestling, you know, and the last 25 have been in Hollywood. He's had enough time to navigate both worlds that he can do it in a way nobody else could.
And as The Rock had the crowd so whipped up into a frenzy, you were trying to tell me something. I couldn't hear you. So you had to lean over and like text it to me. What did you text me when The Rock said all that he had to say?
I said, wait, it isn't over yet.
It isn't over yet.
It ain't over yet.
It ain't over yet. And I'm in agreement with you. I think we are about to get what Cody has been saying for the past 6 months. We're going to see something unfold at WrestleMania 41 that nobody saw coming.
No. So
they're going to keep us guessing. They're swerving us left and right.
Upside of it is we've got so many theories to talk about. We've got material we got material for the next month without even having to watch another show. So now, granted, we are going to watch every show, so the theories will morph damn near week to week.
Yep.
So keep your eyes and ears open every week because we'll probably be changing up our entire outlook of WrestleMania every damn week.
And the one thing that I do want to say as we bring this episode to a close, because, man, the jet lag is real and I am tired.
Oh, yeah, this has been a weekend here. So, and you even made it overseas. I wasn't doing that.
So
I had to go down to Mexico to go get our fine drink for the night.
I do want to say this, though. The Rock did say something in that speech that really caught my ear, caught my attention. And I'm hoping anybody who saw that speech takes hold of what he had to say. When you see these guys and girls in NXT coming out in that ring and busting their ass, they are at least 1, 2, 3 years away from working the next WrestleMania potentially.
He said it legit. He said, or they could be out of business by then. But
so if you go show up or you watch on your TV, throw them the ratings or show up and raise hell and make some noise for your favorite wrestlers as they are giving you everything in the ring. That's what they need. That's the expectation right now. So there's always expectations, right?
Uh-huh.
So the expectation of us as wrestling fans to the WWE is keep putting on the product that you have given us in the past year.
Absolutely.
Keep doing it. But the expectation of the WWE to us fans, keep showing up.
Yeah.
Keep
tell us
watching.
where to go. Tell us where you want us to go.
Keep the conversation going.
If you want to see Trick Williams on the main event, You got to, he's on NXT right now. So you got to cheer for him in NXT. You got to turn on the TV and watch, or you got to go to the shows. You got to support to let them know, hey, this is the guy that I want to see on my TV for the next however many years. Like Rock said, he wasn't wrong about it. You got to get those guys in the back. First of all, they're not getting the high dollar contracts. They're not getting the luxury hotels and the private limos and all. Most of those guys live there. So they're kind of, they live in Florida. They're kind of flying down, maybe from the top of the state to the bottom of the state or vice versa type thing. They're not, they're not being traveled all around. They don't have a custom bus like Cody. They're grinding. They're cutting their teeth down there. They're putting the work in to get to that level. And all we got to do is show up for them, and they'll get there. So yeah, if you love what you see, let them know. If Trick's your guy, if Obafemi's your guy, if Julia's your girl, let them know. Say, hey, I need these people on my TV as much as possible. And like he said, they're paying off with it. Hell, think about NXT from 5 years ago. All the people that were on NXT from 5 years ago that we were in love with are on the main roster now, and they've either had titles or are currently holding titles.
Rhea Ripley, that's all I'm gonna say.
Absolutely. Hey, Tiffany.
Look at
Tiffany's only been in the business like 5 years.
Yep.
2 of them she's been on the main roster. 3 of them she was in NXT.
Yep.
Hell, should she be this far along in her career? She's the WWE Women's Champion 5 years in. Some people haven't even wrestled a main event match in 5 years on some indie thing or whatever. Hell, she's the main event for the women in WWE 5 years in. That just goes to show she took her time in NXT serious. She cut her teeth and she learned her gimmick and worked the business.
Yep. So as we bring this episode to a close, what did we see? What did we see? Did we just see that? What was that? That was some good shit.
Time will only tell.
That was some good shit.
Oh, yeah.
So
some good shit, pal.
So thank you for listening to today's episode. We appreciate what you guys do. Go out on the social media platforms, drop us a line. And with that, we bid you adieu.
Dude, did you get the Travis Scott sing?
I can't tell you, man.
Bro, did you get the autograph?
Today's podcast was produced by SBP. You can find our podcast on all major podcast platforms. Also, connect with us on our social media accounts. Search for The Bookers Alliance on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X.